Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you are new here, thank you for joining us. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. In this one, I'm going to update you guys on the greenhouse build. Now, let me ask you this. Do you even know what it costs to build a greenhouse from the ground up? Of course, this is all subjective or specific to the design that I revealed in part one of this video that I will link below. But I am here to break it all down for you guys in case you are curious or in case you are on the verge of making that decision on building one for yourself. Now, I've had some cancellations, yep,
It's okay, I'm okay, and I'm in the first.
delays from some unexpected failures that I will show you guys that really set us back, but I came out, I think, with a win. When I say a win, I mean a major score that has me relooking the current design. I presented the new design to my builder who is currently reviewing the structural integrity of it. And let me blow your mind. It is a ready-made solution that is available for import. I'm going to reveal it to you guys in this video. If you are as excited as I am, please remember to like and subscribe. And having watched the video, I would really appreciate any feedback, insights, advice. Thank you. Before we get into the updates, let's just do a quick recap. So basically, the greenhouse is going to fit between that face-off and the house itself. The greenhouse footprint will lie between that row of blocks and extend to your left to include the tank as well as the building. So this is the space we're looking at. I want to just reflect a bit on the original design just so that you can understand why I made the changes that I'm going to reveal later on. So basically the structure was 100% glass, of which I was going to swap out the side panels and make sliding doors out of 70% shade cloth that will give me some pest control still, allow for more ventilation and keep the temperatures a lot cooler than if it really was 100% glass. Let me just touch quickly on the structural components so that when we get into the costing, you'll understand a bit better. So the structural bits included zinc-coated RHS as well as zinc-coated fencing to create the main frame. The glass panels would have slid into the RHS, and I wanted to tint those panels just to have a little more light control via the roof as well as the doors to the front as I'm west facing. The shade cloth would have sit within a sliding door frame as well on the sides that would have been made separately to attach to the sides. I also want to include some roller shades just in case the shade cloth was not cutting it when we go live with the system. Now, the internal roofing bit would include a grid, a wire grid, so that I can hang stuff as well as be able to receive the irrigation system that I want to install. From this angle, I'm hoping that you can perceive this space where I've set up the tank for the irrigation system a little better. I'm hoping to use the tank as a rainwater reservoir that I will use, that I'm hoping to use anyway for fertilizing, etc. I will, in probably the next update video, explain the irrigation system a little better once I have all the features ironed out, but I am hoping for a smart solution. Now, this space that acts as a thoroughfare currently, I want to maintain it as a thoroughfare. So it allows us to access the back of the tank as well as the back of the building. But this face off here on this building, I will probably convert into my potting station and storage once it doesn't get too cramped. So at least you have an idea of the layout for the greenhouse area and what tasks will be done where. So I'm hoping not to have to pot and do any sort of messy work in the greenhouse itself other than the basics. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys are able to understand the space a little better after that description, or at least just the general layout. At this point, I want to present some costs that came in so far. Now, what you're seeing in front of you right now is the completed foundation. This costed me, and this cost is materials and labor. This costed $6,000. Now, the next quotation that I got was for the framing. This came in at $9,500. The framing meaning all the structural components to stabilize the building, which would be the zinc coated RHS, the framing, and all supporting material to anchor it into the foundation. So that was 9,500. At this point, we had to pause because of what you're going to see next. So we're going to go back in time a little bit. Material was dropped off to continue work on site. This would have been all related to the foundation and surrounding areas, just to sort of level the ground, raise it in areas that needed to be raised, finish the site drainage, and those sort of works. So while they were completing the foundation, this was before completion and before they casted, we had a period, a weekend or so of torrential rainfall. Rain just fell for I think what was 3 days constantly where we live and completely flooded the area. Now you would have seen the foundation completed because the guys on the greenhouse project, they were still able to continue working when the rain had stopped intermittently. They were able to cast out the area. However, believe it or not, from all the rains and while they were casting, we had landslides happening on site. So where I had previously described as a thoroughfare area behind this building, I had filmed on the other side where the tank is. This is actually the end of that building. Material now touches the building, which was at least 2 feet clear. You could sort of see it where the gravel is on the floor. This was the other end of the wall that we were not able to complete in time, that totally failed with the massive material moving forward because of the rains. And if you thought that was bad, the worst was yet to come. Here you're seeing a landslide that happened a couple days after on the outskirts of the property or just outside our retaining wall, almost covering the entire street. All that material came crashing down, and you'll see a close-up shortly, bringing down trees and other debris with it. So we had to call in vetiver TT as prescribed by our engineer, and they were due to do a site visit in the days coming. But basically, this material just fell right off of there, exposing the base of our retaining wall. And the crazy continues. We could not have gotten enough men. Up to 4 guys came to help us move this material off the street with shovels and wheelbarrows, but the material was beyond saturated and sticky as it's primarily clay, that it was immovable with just our arms alone. We had to get a backhoe to clear the street. When that was done, we basically got on a call with Vetiver TT, who were scheduled to come in the coming days and indicated that they will have to do a full walkthrough of the site to understand the on-site drainage. So we started paying attention to what was going on site, and we did see ponding of water on site. When Vetiver TT actually came on site, they showed us just outside of the wall that water that was ponding outside was actually seeping through. So the long story short was that this landslide on the outskirts took precedence over the one inside because this posed to be much more treacherous being on a roadside and being just beyond our primary retaining structure. So what they did was they fastened a coco coir mat onto the entire exposed surface. They then planted vetiver grass to start the stabilization process. You're going to see a close-up of it shortly. I will put a link to more information on the use of vetiver in stabilizing slopes in the description. But this was how they planted it. And this is a close-up of the coco coir mat that was woven into the soil and fastened to the face to ensure it doesn't move. This is what the vetiver grass looks like, and its root system is known to extend up to 10 feet down and is known to be one of the best natural stabilizers when it comes to stabilizing slopes and hills. This is a graphic of how dense the root system can get. I got this photo from the Vetiver TT website that I will put in the description below. So over about a 3-week period or so, we had a number of consultations between Vetiver TT and our engineer team, numerous phone calls, video calls, just to make sure that the works on site that were continuing, which were relevant to repairing or drainage issues, grading the land to ensure that there was no ponding of water, all in all, to prevent landslides, that basically took over our attention, and everything to do with the greenhouse was put on pause naturally because that just was not a priority item at this time. Stabilizing the property and ensuring the way forward obviously was the more important thing. So during that 3-week period, no structural works were happening, but I continued my research, and you will not believe what I found during that period. Now, granted, I continued to get quotations, and this is going to blow your mind again. So during the 3-week downtime, I continued to receive quotations and I continued my research. Now, a super reputable roofing company in Trinidad quoted me, and boy, oh boy, did that really put me off. I'm not going to quote the company's name, but basically they came in at $60,000 for the custom solution or custom design that I described to you all. What a put off it was to me. Now, I don't know if I'm being naive, but I really didn't expect that to be the quotation. I would love to hear back from you all if you all built your own greenhouse and that was your experience, but I was completely turned off, especially as we had all this other external works going on. I just was not prepared for that quota. So I immediately decided to shelve this idea.
It's okay, I'm okay, and I'm in the first.
And just as I was at my lowest low, the silver lining started appearing. Not only did I find a replacement solution that was in keeping with the design that I originally wanted, but I found one that is a fraction of the cost that you can import as well from a super popular online platform that you will see now. If you haven't guessed already, I found it on Amazon, believe it or not. I also will link a video from Peachy, who also makes videos on YouTube, who actually bought the system and has completed her installation. I'm going to go through a bit of the details with you guys now, but I will put the link in the description for you guys to have a look. I would love any feedback. So as a polycarbonate system, my main issue is the heat index on the inside. So I do plan to swap out some of the panels and basically create the sliding door system using shade cloth on the sides at least as per the original design. And I will tint the roof and the doors. Well, that's the plan anyway, as per the original design. I love that the guttering is already in there for me, and I can still have this aesthetic and the ability to customize it as I go. So all the internals I can still customize with my builder. So I am hoping to have the main structure imported, and I'll just keep you guys in the loop in terms of what changes I make to the frame. But for 1500 US, I cannot go wrong. So I'm hoping in the part 3 of this series, I'll be able to give you guys some more solid information in terms of what the landed cost was and how it actually held up upon being assembled and whatever customizations I do. In the meantime, though, I have started finally moving my plants down. I think I had mentioned to you guys that I wanted to get this tent from PriceSmart. I eventually had to cancel those plants as well because it's too windy where I am, and the advice that I got was that it will not hold up outside. So I ended up clearing out a storeroom that I had outside that has sufficient ventilation and light coming in. So I started bringing some of my plants down, as you can see here, and I'm hoping to just continue doing so. I want to keep moving some of the shelving that I currently use in and populating them with my plants. So progress. Just to recap, and by the way, this material here that you're seeing actually came up to start the structural work just to create the frame for the greenhouse. I sent it all back because during that 3 week downtime, I was able to do some more research. That's when I found the system on Amazon. So I sent all of this back. This is what costed 9,500, just the frame, just the zinc coated RHS, that fencing material that you're seeing there, and the gravel to secure it to the foundation. I sent it all back. So now, once the 1500 US fully enclosed, fully completed greenhouse arrives, I will keep you guys posted on that in terms of what it actually costed me to receive it, install it, any labor or anything, so that we can do a proper comparison. I'm hoping in the part 3 of this when I have all the numbers in. I really am hoping that I'm on the way now and that my plants will be with me soon again and I can give you guys some more consistent footage. In the meantime, please, 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 I'm begging you all to review the product and give me any feedback that you feel is essential or anything that you think would be useful to the installation or even the cancellation of the purchase, because I haven't confirmed it as yet. I am waiting to see if maybe it goes on deal during the Christmas period or even New Year's. So I do have some time to play with before I actually order it. I did want to give myself a little more time to think about it too, just to make sure that I'm making the right decision. Because you know the return policy, I don't even want to get into that. But you know, any information that you feel is useful or that I think I need to hear, please let me know. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video, and Merry Christmas.